If you have not used Chat GPT, now it's time to use that. I earlier published one video where I talked about Chat GPT and how can you use it. If you missed the video, check the links in the description below. But in this particular video, let me show you how can you use Chat GPT and how can you use to improve your productivity. So first of all, let me show you how can you invoke Chat GPT. Chat GPT is a product of OpenAI.com. And if you want to use this particular tool, then you need to type chat.openai.com. I already bookmarked it. So what I'll do, I'll open it from there. So once you'll be able to log in, you'll be able to see this kind of prompt. But if you don't have an account yet, then you may need to log in with your Google credentials and or other way to create your account. So once your account is created, then you will be able to see this prompt. Now, first example, maybe you are reading a very long article and there you want to see that what are the gist of it. You may need to read it quickly and because you may need to attend some meeting where you need to speak about it and you don't have time to read the entire article. So there, ChatGPT can help you. You can just need to provide the link of the article and it will give you a summary out of it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I have one article, it's related to AWS Lambda and it's a long article. And if someone wants to read it, they need to check all these paragraphs and all this text and then the person will get an idea. So I just took it as an example. But now, if I want to get a summary out of it, what can I do? So let me go to the Chat GPT and now let me give a prompt that please give me a summary of this article from this website. And if I hit enter, it will check the article and it will give a very brief summary what you need to know. But if you want to expand it further, you can ask different other questions. So Nate, in case you have a long article and you need a summary out of it without maybe checking out the article, it can help you to get a brief view. You can also use ChatGPT as a replacement of your Google search, right? Whenever we open Google search, we normally get greeted with multiple ads and different SEO fine-tuned articles. But using ChatGPT, you can get your ideas, right? So if I just want to learn about container and Kubernetes, so I can ask the same question here instead of going to Google search and get lost in multiple different articles. So let me do that. Let's see what it says that I want to learn about what's container and Kubernetes. So it is giving me a brief idea that what's container, what's Kubernetes. Kubernetes also referred as K8. So all those very briefly. And if you want more detail, you can ask that question that give me more detail on the specific topic and it will prompt you with all those responses. So this is the second way you can use ChatGPT to improve your productivity as a replacement of Google search. Another way you can use ChatGPT to get a summary of a long YouTube video. Let's take an example of a TED Talk, right? I have one TED Talk open here. So it's a 17 minutes video. But if I want to get a brief of this particular video, I can do it also. How to do that? So currently I have this video open. If I go to these three dots and I'll go to transcript, show transcript, it will give me a transcript and you may get another option here with a timestamp. So I just click on toggle timestamp. So if you are getting with timestamp, remove that. So click on the toggle timestamp and then you copy this entire text and full text. Once you copy that, you can paste it in ChatGPT and there you can ask for a summary. So if I come here, right? So it will ask that which video you are asking for. It will ask, you can give it in the earlier line itself. So it's asking that it doesn't have access to that video and so you can paste it here. So now you can see it's giving that summary of that particular video. So it's a 17 minutes video where it's giving me a summary. You can read it in 1 minute. So in case you are looking for a video, but you don't have time to spend, so you can use this particular method to summarize any of the longer video. Now you've got some idea about one of the video. Now if you want to understand what are the 3 or 4 or 5 actionable steps you need to take from the outcome of that particular video or any of the article, so you can also ask. So if I now ask this question, give me top 5 actionable points which I need to know from this article, or maybe here I can mention that video, right? So it will give you the top 5 actionables also. So now you see that from a 17 minutes video, it gave you 5 actionable points and you got it in with few seconds only, right? So this is the way you can use it. So it's a long form article. You can ask for the actionables. You can ask for the book summary. You can ask for, as I shown, a video summary also for a longer video content where maybe you don't want to invest that much of amount of time, but you want to take the benefit out of it. So this is the way you can use it. So let me show you another way you can use ChatGPT to improve your productivity. But before that, in comments, please mention that how you are going to use ChatGPT to improve your productivity. Do you have any specific idea in after watching these 2, 3 examples? Now let's understand another thing, that maybe you don't know a specific maybe feature or topic of any of the product. Now take an example. Considering in this channel we talk about Excel very frequently. If you don't know how to use VLOOK, let me ask the question to ChatGPT and see that how it comes up. So I want to use VLOOKUP function within Excel. Please guide me with detailed steps along with example, and let's see what comes out. You can see it start giving that step-by-step guide that how can you use VLOOKUP and how you can structure that particular function also. So that's it's talking about, and it's giving you all those steps. So if you are not aware of any function, now I just took an example of VLOOKUP. You may want to learn maybe Power Query or anything else. So that you can check, and now it's giving you those dummy data, and how can you use this dummy data and type the formula exactly. So step by step, and all the options are available. So you can just ask anything. So this particular model, whatever we're using ChatGPT current version, that is I think version 13, it's mentioned at the February 13 version. So it contains, it's trained with the data till September 2021. So anything you can ask within that time range, it will be able to answer. Now another, maybe another tip, the next one. So if you want to learn a new language, it can help you, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. If I mention that help me to speak Bengali, Bengali is my mother tongue, so I don't need to learn it. But in case someone is interested, that can ask. And in case you want to learn any language, you just start typing and see that how ChatGPT responds. So let me see how it responds. Help me to speak Bengali. Let me see what are the suggestions are there, right? It's giving you this precise steps that what are the things you need to learn to start and how you can start with it. It's also giving you some of the basic words that how you can start, and it's now giving those examples that what's hello in Bengali and how are you in Bengali. So very basic terms, basic things to start with. So you can start exploring on whatever the language you want to learn. So this is another way you can use ChatGPT to improve your productivity. In the next step, if you want to learn any specific topic, maybe a very complex one, and you want to get a summary out of it. Maybe you don't want to learn in very detail, but you want to get a summary so that at least you get an idea of what it is. So let me give you one example. If I just type this thing that explain what is neuroscience. So, and if you just hit enter, it will give you a brief. So whatever the topics, as I mentioned earlier, use it as a replacement of Google search, and you will get a more maybe precise answer. You will be getting it in a very quick time instead of wasting much time in exploring different multiple articles and find the right answers among those articles. So this can help you a lot, right? So as I mentioned, this particular tool is having immense potential. It's only up to you how you are going to leverage this particular tool. Now, we talked about certain things. Now, checked that how you want to get more details about VLOOKUP. Now, think about the situation. You are using Gmail and you want to configure signature within Gmail so that down the line, whenever you will be sending a new email or respond to any email, that signature will get added. But you don't know what are the steps. One way of doing it is you can come to this channel to learn those. But another maybe quickest option is to, if you can ask ChatGPT that I would like to enable custom signature for my Gmail account. Please suggest me steps to configure it, and let's see what it comes up with. And you can see now it's showing you step by step that you need to open Gmail, you need to go to settings from the drop down menu, and then you'll be getting certain options, and there you can configure. So this is the way you can ask it any question related to any configuration of any specific tool, website, any application. So all those known applications and maybe commonly used things, it will be able to help you. And you can see that it's giving you step-by-step approach that you just need to follow, and you will be able to achieve it. So this is the way you can ask ChatGPT for any such configuration to save some of the time and be more productive there. Another way you can use ChatGPT to write emails for you. If you want to write any type of email, you can just ask and it will write for you. In my other video, I already shown that particular example. So I'm just not asking the same thing again here, but you can ask to write any email, right? So that's the way you can use it. And another way you can use it, you can train ChatGPT to learn your way of writing emails, and it can generate the next response in that line. And another video is coming up in this particular channel where I'll show you how can you train ChatGPT with your data, your company data, or maybe your business data, or your style of writing in that way, so that it can generate more natural responses. So people will not be able to identify which email you wrote and which email generated from this particular tool. So simply subscribe to my channel to know more about it, and that video is coming soon. Okay, now coming to the next one. Now some of us always aspire that, okay, we'll write some code, and maybe because of the time crunch or something, we are not able to learn that language and we are not able to do that. Now let me check another option, that can ChatGPT help me to write some codes also. So I already copied some of the text which I wrote earlier to save some time. So what I'm looking for, I'm asking ChatGPT to write a Python code for me. What it will do, it will copy all data rows of Excel files which are available inside one folder, that is C colon data. And from there, it will pick up those data and it will put an output file which is under colon data and processed, and there it will create a single file where all those outputs will be there. So it will read different Excel files, it will only pick up the data rows, and from there it will paste that particular data in a new Excel file in chronological order. So let's see what it gives. And I also mentioned another thing, please show a green if you understood my request. So I explained it, I tried to explain it. So it may happen that it's not understood, right? So that's why I'm looking for that confirmation also. Let's see what we are getting here. So you can see, yes, I understood your requirement. Now it started writing that code. So once it will fully generate, you can just copy that code and you can start using it. So this is the way it is. So you don't need to learn Python in that way. You can generate from here. And in case you need to do some certain changes here and there, you can do that. And it's another good thing is it's also giving you the details that how this particular code works. It not only wrote that particular code, it's explaining the way this particular code is written. Hopefully you will be able to use it in some of the scenarios down the line. So while we are talking about maybe generating a new code, this particular tool can help you to check or audit any of the existing codes also. So team leads who are already checking codes for your different team members, then you may need to maybe learn something new down the line. So this is the way you can, if you have a certain maybe a piece of code, you can just paste it here and mention that this is the reason this code was written and this is the output I'm expecting out of it. So then it can audit that code and it can give you a suggestion what are the changes it can be, write it in a more smarter way. Now switching gear and now going to another direction, particular video is to improve productivity, right? So some of the times you may need to write a marketing plan or the project plan. It can help you there also. So I came up with one idea that I'm planning to launch a new mobile app in 1 month time. Please suggest me a detailed marketing plan and let's see how it responds. So I just asked there for it. And now you can see it started giving me options that this is the thing. So first of all, you need to define your target audience, then in with App Store related optimization, creating the website and landing page. So it started giving me all those options. So now once it will finish, you can ask the more detailed way. If you ask that you give me a granular details, maybe weekly wise or day wise plan, it can also get that. Try from your side. So use some imagination and try to ask certain questions and definitely you'll be getting some of the answers. Let me know in the comments what the way you are planning to use ChatGPT down the line. And let's move to the next point, and which is the last one for this particular video. If you want to generate some ideas, maybe you are planning to start maybe new side hustle or maybe doing some content related work and you are just looking for some of the ideas so that you can get some inspiration and from there you can start with. So I again came up with one question here. I'm planning to start a YouTube channel where I'll cover Excel related tips and tricks, what I'm already doing. So please suggest me fast 20 video topics for the same. And it will give me those videos. So I asked for 20, you can ask 100. It will give you 100 such tips, right? And 100 such suggestions. So this is the way, instead of scratching your head and coming from the maybe very scratch, you can use it as a baseline. Then you can start fine tuning and you can come up with something new, right? So these are the 10 tips I thought of sharing, that which we can help you to improve your productivity using Chat GPT. Everyone is using this particular tool, so if you're not using, you will be maybe staying behind. So I think that this particular video will give you some ideas, and you'll be able to come up with some more, maybe better ideas to what are the things to ask, and how can you infuse this particular tool in your day-to-day workflow to improve your productivity. Hopefully you learned something new from this particular video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm going to publish some more ChatGPT related videos, including that how can you use ChatGPT within MS Excel, within MS Word, without going to a web browser. All those topics are coming up, and please stay tuned. Thank you for your time. Bye bye for now.